Today we're going to do a video on a 2000 XL 1200. It's leaking gas, and I suspect it will be the float needle jet. So on this video, I want to show you guys how to replace that float needle jet. The only difficult is removing the pin from the towers that hold your float, that holds your needle to your seat. And with that, I'm going to take this apart. If I start it up, she just leaks gas out of the overflow hose, which is at the bottom. I'll show you in a second. Now this hose here usually trails and down behind the filter or to the back on bottom of the starter. Most times it will be in the front by the oil. And this is a dead telltale. If gas comes out of here, you got dirty fuel and probably a bad needle seat on your float. With that, I'm going to take this apart and we're going to replace the needle set. I feel it's important that you guys see how I remove the pin from the carburetor float towers. Like I said, this is relatively easy. Remove the clamp for the gas. Remember, you will have gas in there. Then you got to remove, I usually like to index this cable, a little speck of white, so there's no confusion. Take all the adjustment and put it back into your cables, and this comes apart relatively easy. A lot of times these little Phillips heads are made out of a very soft metal, and they'll strip. And just grip it on there and get your first turn. Even if they're stripped out, this will work. And it's relatively easy. It's amazing how quick these things will strip. So with that, I'm going to remove the bowl just to show you how to remove the pin that holds the float. So you could change out your float needle jet, and that's what causes the gas to overflow out your overflow hose. Okay, now be careful. You got your little accelerator pump. And there we go. A lot of times this will fall. I'm going to take it out and put it to the side. Now what we want to remove, I hope you can see this, is this pin. Now if you take a close look at this, you'll see there's an arrow. You'll see this tower here is bigger, and that's to support the pressure of when you try to drive this pin through. Now, I'm going to show you how I do it. If you guys got a better way, please let me know. All right, this could be difficult, but I found this works real well. I lean it on this masking tape. I get myself this little jeweler's screwdriver, and it's a straight screwdriver. You could use whatever works, but I take this deep 1/4-inch socket. So I place the 1/4-inch socket right under that tower. Now you'll see there's the arrow. Now, I hope you can see this. I take this. Now, what this is doing is supporting that tower there. Now with the tape, it makes it kind of nice. Make sure you get everything nice and square. And there we go. And a little tap. And that's all it took. I've been seeing a lot of bikes where these towers are broke. They're glued in place, all kind of wild stuff. Now you see how I did it. Now you got to remember, this pin is tapered. So remember, it's got to go back in the way it came out. Okay, so now I'll put that down. I'll pull this up. And here is the bad needle. Now, I'm going to try to show you. You see this? This is supposed to spring up and down. This one's seized. a lot of times the gas deteriorates this seat. This bike most likely sat for a while for that to be seized. I'm going to put this aside. I recommend that you buy a new one. You see this one, I hope you see it, this spring goes up and down, and that cushions the needle because the motor's obviously vibrating. Do not, like I said, do not try to bend this tab. All right, now we set this in there. Just work it in there, put your finger on it. I don't want to get too involved here, but here is your main jet, which has been cleaned. Here is your idle jet, and behind this is your choke circuit. Here is your seat. What I like to do, usually I'll take all this apart, but I did. I just want to show you guys how to remove this needle and replace this float needle jet. Now, this is the seat. I'll take a Q-tip, and just for this video, I'm kind of just running through it. It's usually the problem is the float needle. But take a look. If you got a bad petcock, bad gas line, debris will hang up in there and cause you your problems. Now you take this one. Now you take that needle. Brand new is the way to go. I used to clean them. I don't bother no more. It's just a waste of time. They're cheap enough, okay? Now remember, you got your finger holding that needle in place. Jiggle it around a little bit. There she goes, beautiful. Now, your needle, this needle here is tapered. Take a little wire brush, clean it. Most people I have seen, they don't realize this is such a slight machine fit and tapered that I've seen them where they'll drill these holes to make them bigger because they didn't realize this side here, that slides in easy. This side here, okay, easy, because that's the bigger side. Now we go to this side. I'm just showing you it don't fit in there. A lot of people get caught, and then they'll actually drill this stuff and make it all sloppy and hit it with glue. It's ridiculous. Like I said, you can see that does not fit. You can see this side is the smaller side. It's tapered. Now we go to this side. Hope you can see this. That slides right in there. Now this side will be a little fatter. Okay. Now just put your finger on this and line up the holes. Little patience. If you have it on the right thing, this will slide right in. Okay. Now you see, check everything that it's working. Everything's nice. Everything's nice. Now, we have to drive that pin back in. Use this to support it. Right there. This is where you got to be careful. Make sure everything's lined up nice. Now that wasn't bad. Clean up everything, put it together, and you'll have no problem. This has to be flush. It won't fit in between these two blocks. Now I'm going to put the accelerator pump on back. You'll see the hole. That's the hole right there, but you got to go from this side. Not a problem. Now take this dust cover Slightly put that back on. And now you just rotate it a little bit, get the accelerator pump needle. And slide it in there just like that. Now that wasn't bad. Now I'm gonna put these Phillips head back in, one at a time. I like to crisscross. Now this carburetor should not leak from the overflow. A lot of people, they'll ask me, do I need to get a rebuild kit? Do I need, just clean it. The only thing I replace is diaphragms for the accelerator pump, petcock diaphragms, and float needles. Utmost important. I get this little Craftsman impact set up. Now I'm going to install this on the bike and I'll get back to you. All right, I got the carburetor back on. I know I didn't show you, but I replaced this inlet. I do them all the time. But anytime you've seen these vinyl ones, this is what they end up. You'll disturb them and it won't leak. Then all of a sudden, because you move the carburetor, it gets a hairline crack. So you just buy a new one, 15 bucks, 20 bucks. It varies. And you know you don't got to worry about that. So here's our overflow line. I let this sit. It primed gas. Choke is on. And I put a brand new choke on this too. All stuff that, you know, should be replaced. All right, we got our line right down here. If that float didn't work, as you see, there's gas in here from this morning. As that float, it will override. It'll get past here and come out the overflow hose, which you're looking at right here. So let me start this baby up. Ignition is on. Choke is on. It's in neutral. Sounds beautiful. I just have to adjust the throttle. This is the telltale right here. I don't want to keep this running too long. I want to put it back together. Sounds great. Let me shut her down. And I'll get back to you when it's together. We have a gasket that goes here. I really do like this gasket. Edelbrock. It's just like glue. Just a dab to keep the gasket where it should be. Let's put this on there. You see those two holes there. Okay. Now just to start it off, I put 2 of the screws through there. That's stuck in place. And for now, just hold it like this, nice and even. Line it up, get one started. I like to put things back together the way they were. All right. You can see. I'm just gonna snug them up, nothing too tight. One at a time, take it out. Slide it back in. Okay, there's this one, same thing. slide it. You might have to tilt this a little bit. That's why I didn't tighten none of them up. Hand tighten. Let's not get crazy with none of this. Just some people put red Loctite, blue Loctite. Just snug it up. I've never had a problem. This bike here, these had red on it. Red is just way too much. Let's try to do it evenly. I've never seen these get loose. That's pretty good. Okay. Here is a K&N filter. I do not believe in oiling them. I cleaned it down real well. Beautiful. Now I got the breather cover. You can feel it. All right. I like to use a little Craftsman impact. This is really good to remove stuff, but it has such a nice bite to it. It works well. I would keep the hose out for 1 or 2 starts. Make sure you don't burn it on here. I mean, just start it, shut it down, start it, shut it down, and inspect. All right, choke is on. Hose is right here. You can smell the bad gas. This is from this morning. This is from this morning. Terrible. It will gas come out of this discharge hose. All right. Okay, with this hose, the overflow hose, trace it through here, get a pair of... Watch that pipe will be hot. Okay, work it through. Or just wait till it's cool. Okay, I got it right there by the oil filter. Now I'm going to put it... There we go. And now she's fed right there. It's between the motor and the oil filter. And now that will be your discharge hose. Make sure it's not close to anything on the exhaust system. And she came out beautiful. If you have any questions, just ask. And like I said, if you guys have a better way, just leave it in the comment section. It helps others. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up. Leave a comment and subscribe. Ride safe and have a great day.